So Caitlin Clark is one of the best and well-known basketball players on the planet right now. And this past offseason, she worked really hard to add 8 pounds of muscle to her frame to give her an additional edge on the offensive and defensive ends of the court. And it clearly paid off because she was able to finish around the rim better and play tougher on-ball defense.
Look, I reckon Caitlin Clark is going to be even better coming into the season. Just look at her arms, for God's sake.
Caitlin Clark is currently one of the most recognizable and elite basketball players globally. During the last offseason, she committed herself to putting on 8 pounds of muscle, aiming to gain a competitive advantage on both offense and defense. And it clearly paid off. She's finishing better around the basket and defending more aggressively on ball.
And Diana said it best. This kid's in for a rude awakening. And they all jumped over her, but they didn't read the whole thing that she said. But nobody's printing. You know, Diana Taurasi was right. This kid's on the wrong team. She's got the wrong skill set to handle the physicality of that league. And she's a rookie. And if you're a WNBA player, if you're any kind of player, you're going to say, I'm going to make a statement.
Stephanie White, her coach with the Indiana Fever, has already highlighted the transformation. Clark isn't just tougher. She's a completely reinvented athlete. She's stronger, quicker, more refined. This time around, she's not merely adapting to the physical demands. She's dishing it right back.
Well, a lot of stuff yesterday, a lot of people were talking about it. Just how much bigger Caitlin Clark has gotten. That's all people are talking about. So obviously, if you're looking at the picture with her with Serena Williams, like her arms look a little bit bigger, but it's kind of hard to tell from there.
Gone are the days when defenders could knock her off her rhythm. Now, she's initiating contact. She's posting up against smaller guards, taking hits, and still converting plays. She's still pulling up from deep range. Only now defenders are bouncing off her like they're made of foam.
But like, how much bigger Caitlin Clark's arms are than last year? It's mad.
Watching her development feels like witnessing a superhero origin story in real time. Rookie year Clark was already a scoreboard nightmare. Now, she's embracing physical play with a smile on her face. Imagine what happens when you combine strength, endurance, and unshakable confidence with someone who was already a problem for every opponent.
And we've seen it again more and more throughout this offseason, like pictures of Caitlin Clark, just how much she is bulked up. And again, it's a sign of somebody that is very clearly working her way towards being, well, no longer the skinny guard that they said was not big enough.
And let's not overlook the poetic twist. Geno Auriemma, who hasn't coached anyone near Clark's level in a decade, once questioned her ability to keep up with the physicality. Meanwhile, Clark has turned herself into the textbook example of turning criticism into dominance. Hope he's enjoying the sidelines, because Clark is now the one running the league.
Geno, baby, if Caitlin Clark is on the team, it becomes the right team. Because Caitlin Clark is on it. It's like saying Michael Jordan's not on the right team. It's the right team if Michael Jordan is on the roster.
Every team that thought they had her figured out is now scrambling to revise their entire defensive strategy. You can't push her out of the game anymore. You can't rough her up and expect her to fade away. She's tougher. She's more intelligent. And she's still got that relentless fire in her belly. Here's the truth. The more strength Caitlin builds, the harder she is to stop. Her passes? Sharper. Her cuts? More dynamic. She weaves through defenders like she's wrapped in a protective barrier. This isn't just a glow up from hitting the gym. This is a message. Ain't she's not here to participate. She's here to take over.
I gotta ask you a basketball question. Yeah. I know that you work really hard in the offseason. You said yesterday you're always trying to get better. Mm-hmm. What's the thing that you're working on in this offseason?
I think, honestly, besides the actual basketball skill part of it, I think getting stronger, that's what I'm focusing on. I'm in the weight room a lot, just building that strength. Obviously, it was hard going right from the college season to the professional season. You don't get to spend a lot of time in the weight room, so that's what I've tried to focus on the most here. And then obviously, a lot of things on the court. I'm always wanting to get better, and that's kind of what drives me, and I love it. I love getting to do it, and I feel very fortunate that it's my job.
So, if you're a defender thinking about getting physical with Caitlin Clark in 2025, good luck. She's not just absorbing contact anymore, she's embracing it, meeting it head on. And if Geno Auriemma's still watching from the sidelines, he might want to take notes. Caitlin Clark didn't just answer the league's challenge. She owned it. She flipped it, used it as motivation, and now the league's going to deal with the fallout.
And not only that, like Caitlin Clark has... I hope that Caitlin Clark has not put on... Because in fairness, she doesn't look like there's too much size being put on. But compared to last season, how much bulk she has put on. You would hope, again, for a Caitlin Clark, because Caitlin Clark is built like a soccer player.
She's clearly added a lot of mass, and ideally, you'd expect that from someone like Caitlin Clark because she's got a frame similar to that of a soccer player. The entire WNBA just got a massive wake-up call, and that alert came in the form of Caitlin Clark. She's not coming back as the same athlete. She's returning like she's unlocked some kind of off-season cheat code. If anyone thought they figured her out after last year, they're in for a harsh reality check. This isn't just an athlete prepping for their second year. It's a full-blown transformation. Clark isn't just aiming for another solid campaign. She's laser-focused on etching her name alongside the sport's greatest legends. This isn't some generic, I hit the weight room kind of offseason. This is the kind of preparation that future documentaries are made about.
Funnily enough, I don't think it's going to have effect on the pace that she plays at, because if you watch Caitlin Clark play, the pace that she plays at is more here. Like, Caitlin Clark is much faster here than she is, like, physically. And that's one of the things I don't think people really know.
So the big question, can she bring all this new muscle into actual games? That answer is written in all caps. Yes. We're not talking about someone who just toned up a bit. Clark has leveled up every single aspect of her basketball toolkit. The version of her that WNBA defenders knocked around last season, she's gone. Now she's replaced by someone tougher, meaner, and more complete, someone who's going to haunt defenders in their sleep. She's naturally built like a distance runner. That elasticity in her frame is rare among WNBA players. And honestly, that's one reason she's stayed relatively injury-free. Despite how fast she plays, she doesn't put that much wear and tear on her legs. There's not a ton of lateral cutting. It's mostly straightforward speed. Last season, it was all about her quickness, her endless shooting range, and those ridiculous no-look dimes. And guess what? All of that's still there. But now she's added strength to the mix, and that makes her a total matchup nightmare. Those defenders who used to try and bump her out of rhythm, they're the ones getting knocked off balance now. One of the most noticeable upgrades? Her post-up game. Clark has been living in the paint this offseason. She's been perfecting how to establish position, take contact, and finish strong. She's not avoiding physical play anymore. She's actively looking for it. Think about that for a second. The same player that defenders used to target for being too slim is now the one dishing out the bruises, and the league is racing to adapt. Someone said, the league isn't ready for Caitlin 3.0. And honestly, they might be right. She's looking like an MVP frontrunner already. Shout out to the Fever's social media team. You're winning. Caitlin, we see the gains. It's not just that she gained weight. No, she packed on serious muscle. That's the real difference we're seeing in her. Heading into the upcoming season, it's clear she added serious strength. It shows in her build. Her arms, clearly more defined. Her legs, thicker, more powerful. When she drives now, it's not about weaving around contact or flailing for foul calls. She's going through defenders, finishing with both hands, converting layups she used to miss. This isn't finesse anymore. It's force. And it's not just about being stronger. It's about eliminating any area where opponents thought they could take advantage. Last season, defenders tried to wear her down, be physical, bump her constantly, try to frustrate her into making mistakes. That won't work this time. She's setting the tone now, physically controlling how each possession plays out. In college, Caitlin Clark wasn't the strongest player on the court. She wasn't weak by any means, but she struggled to impose her will physically in the pros. Now, she's flipping that entire narrative. Her added strength has also upgraded her playmaking. She's holding defenders on her hip longer, creating space, and slipping passes through tighter gaps. She's creating angles that weren't even there before. Double-teamed? No issue. Clark muscles her way through, zips the ball through a tiny gap, and hits her teammate right in stride. It's not just vision anymore. It's vision with authority. But here's where she separates herself completely. She's not content with fixing just one area. She's fixing everything. Remember that viral workout clip? The one that hit millions of views in a day? That wasn't just for clout. That was a preview of the storm she's bringing. If you watched that session, you saw why so many people are hyped. She's not just polishing the easy stuff. She's tackling her flaws head on. She's targeting her weak spots, and I genuinely think that's an impressive move. It says a lot. She's not hiding from those flaws. She's facing them directly. Let's break it down. Ball handling under serious pressure. Last season, Clark led the entire league in turnovers. Now, part of that was because her teammates couldn't always handle her blistering passes. But a big chunk of it came from the constant pressure she faced. Double teams, aggressive defenders crowding her every possession. So what's she doing about it? She's grinding it out, tightening her handle, getting lower to the floor, increasing control and quickness. She's making sure defenders don't even get the opportunity to trap her this time. Her dribbling is quicker, crisper, more precise. Her mid-range attack. Everyone knows Caitlin can bomb it from half court or score at the rim. But what about that awkward space in between? The mid-range zone where defenders tried to funnel her? Not anymore. Now she's got floaters. She's drilling pull-up jumpers. She's learning to counter every defensive look they throw at her. At this point, there's no safe space to give her even an inch of room. This one's huge. Clark has never been scared to take it to the hoop, but last year she took a beating. Some hits were clean, others not so much. This offseason, she's practicing for that punishment. She's taking contact in drills, working out with resistance bands, simulating real collisions. She's not just handling physical play now, she's thriving through it. And have you seen her upper body? That muscle isn't just for aesthetics, it's intentional. It's a full-on plan. Clark has overhauled her whole approach. From head to toe, she's prepped for battle. When defenders come in with elbows or try to body her, she barely flinches. She's cool, calm, built for this. She's back where she belongs, on the hardwood, grinding. And for the rest of the league, that's terrifying. Because here's the kicker. She was already elite as a rookie. Arguably the best player in the league after the Olympic break. Now she's better? Caitlin Clark isn't just evolving, she's ascending into one of the most lethal offensive weapons the WNBA has seen in a long, long time. And the wildest part? She's just entering year 2. If this is what she's doing this early in her career, just imagine what happens when she hits her prime. We're not just watching a rising star, we could be witnessing the emergence of one of the greatest players to ever do it. Now, sure, when someone bulks up, there's always a small worry about injuries. That's real. Sometimes more mass can lead to more stress on the joints. So yeah, I'd be a bit cautious about that. But to be honest, there's not much concern here. Clark doesn't seem to have overdone it. She's not trying to truck people like a linebacker. She's just making sure she won't get tossed around like she did last season. For the defenders who thought last year was rough, buckle up. They're in for a long ride, because this new version of Clark, she's recharged, reloaded, and reimagined. She's faster, she's more powerful, and she's 10 times harder to predict. Coaches, they're not just preparing for her anymore. They're praying for answers. And this isn't just internet hype either. Real analysts are already talking MVP before the season has even tipped off. With Caitlin Clark, it's not just about numbers, it's about impact. And that kind of impact changes everything. Let's not forget, Clark's goal isn't to just be the best in the league right now. It's bigger than that. She's aiming for all-time status. Clark was already draining logo range threes and pulling off no-look assists like they were routine. But now she's bringing physicality into the mix, making her almost impossible to guard. Picture it like this. You took a Formula One car and added tank armor. She's not just about speed anymore. She's got weight behind her game. That changes the way people have to defend her. Last season, teams tried to throw bodies at her, hit her, bump her, basically play rugby on a basketball court. But this year, that strategy is trash. It won't work. She's not absorbing contact. She's delivering it. Players who used to throw cheap shots at her, they're bouncing off now. Clark's physical edge is making coaches and players go back to the drawing board. Defensive plans that worked before? Outdated. There were a few moments this preseason where you saw her arms and thought, whoa, she really bulked up. By the end of last season, she started posting up more. And here's the thing, Clark doesn't have elite post footwork, but she knows how to use her frame. That left shoulder bump into the right-hand layup hook? She's got that down. And just to wrap things up, this isn't just about Caitlin Clark leveling up. It's about her forcing everyone else to level up too. Her presence alone shifts the balance of the league. She's raising the standard of play, of preparation, of what's possible. And she's doing it with swagger, with purpose, with undeniable greatness. When we look back 5-10 years from now, we might remember this exact offseason as the moment the WNBA changed forever. Because Clark isn't just chasing titles, she's chasing legacy. The best part? She's doing it her way, not just fitting into the mold of what a traditional player should be, not just staying in her lane. She's building her own lane. With every weight lifted, every extra rep, every smart decision off the court, she's crafting something legendary. And if you're still doubting her, still thinking she's just hype, just wait. Because the version of Caitlin Clark we're about to see, she's not here to be liked. She's not here to play nice. She's here to dominate.